In this episode, we're going to be reviewing some magazine ads. Now, magazine ads are much more topical when compared to packaging, book covers, or even movie posters, because a magazine ad will generally last a week or a month, depending on the publication it's in. I took these ads from a People magazine. There's 100 pages in the magazine, and of those 100 pages, 45 pages were advertisements. So I skipped through a bunch that were pretty terrible, and really only reviewed the ones that at least attracted my attention enough for me to review it. So, any ad, you really have three things that you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to attract, interest, and then deliver a message. So using your imagery, your colors, and so forth, you attract someone's attention. Once you have their attention, you need something that will interest them. So that could be your headline, that could be the product you're trying to sell. Whatever it is, you need something to interest them. And then either through the headline or through the copy, you want to deliver your message. So that's the context in which we're going to review these magazine ad designs. This is the first one, and it's for Vaseline. My first impression is that it's a hair product, simply because the scales here look like what a lot of up-close kind of microscopic view of a hair looks like. From scaly to healed in 5 days. If that's relevant to you, that's an okay headline. Visually, it's pretty good. It attracts your attention. It has a clear headline and then has information. So if you're interested, you can follow through on it. So overall, not bad. I would say it's a bit visually confusing because this looks like deodorant packaging. This looks like a hair. So I would have made it more clear that it's a skin product. This next one is for United States Postal Service, and I guess it's promoting the fact that they deliver on Sundays. So it does deliver that message. I didn't immediately get that from this image, but the image itself is interesting enough that you'll read the headline, and the headline does tell you in a clever way that they deliver on Sundays. So overall, that's not bad. It's pretty clean, no major design errors that I can see. This next one is for Townhouse pretzel thins. Here they have a photo of the product, which works pretty well. It immediately tells me what it's promoting. It's a nice photograph, so it attracts my interest. They show the packaging here, so that's brand reinforcement. If I'm buying my groceries and I run into this in an aisle, I'll subconsciously remember this ad, and that may influence my buying decision to get this one over another brand. I'm not sure here why they've decided to have different leading here than here, and they have this in bold and one type size and this one in another type size. I guess they're trying to direct your attention. So if you only read 2 lines, you're going to read this one and this one. But I think that could have been more cleanly done. But overall, not bad. This one is for iced coffee from Starbucks. The image itself, which is a close-up of iced coffee with milk going into it, is definitely attractive. It gets your attention and makes you interested in what the product is and what the advertisement is for. It's certainly interesting enough that you would not just flip the page past it. So overall, not bad. It's pretty clear. Like, the typography is clear. It tells you what it is. It shows you the product. So if you see it in a supermarket, you'll know that, you'll subconsciously make the connection to this ad. So overall, pretty good ad. This one is for Stackers. The image itself is attractive if you like dogs. It interests you, but it's not clear what it's for Or, I mean, yes, they have a product here, but the headline, oh yeah, doesn't really tell me anything about the product, why my dog would like this product over any other product. So this one really falls short in the headline department. And it doesn't, like, if the selling point is that it has real meat, which is what it says here, there's nothing really that tells me that, or tells me why my dog would love this over some other dog food. Okay, this one has a nice piece of art that would certainly, stop me from flipping the page and at least giving it a look. They have this sweet tooth here, it's so designed that I almost think it's the brand, which I think is a bit visually confusing. If the brand is Pasty Crisps, that really should have been more prominent somewhere here. But beyond that, I know this is Kellogg's. I know it's Special K. Never again breaking up with your sweet tooth. I don't know. That doesn't really tell me anything. But the visuals are good. The use of white space is good. The fact that they're reinforcing the packaging here so that you can see what you're going to buy is good. Okay, this is for Clinical Strength Secret Deodorant. So this one I had a bit of a problem with. This image here is very typical of kind of corporate newsletter, corporate brochure. It's very obviously a stock photograph, and 0% hesitation, 100% odor protection, 100% fearless. That really doesn't tell me anything. So if I do the math, we're at 200%. Percentage only goes to 100. So, and I get that these are percentages of different things, but really it's not visually impressive. When I see this image, I don't think deodorant at all. The product down here, it's good that they have that. It took me a second to figure out that this was for a deodorant, and there's nothing clever about the ad, nothing memorable about it. It's very forgettable. Okay, this one is for next issue. This one is quite good in telling me immediately that I will have access to a lot of magazines. The headline, 100 magazines, all you can read access, one low price. So that tells me what I'm going to get. The problem I have with this one is the next issue is far too big. Really, I don't care about next issue because I've never heard of it. What I care about is the headline and what it's going to do for me. So if that was made more obvious and given less priority than the next issue, I think this would be a more successful magazine ad. This one is for all fabric softener. This one works quite well in immediately telling me that this is going to be soft. Even this rabbit here looks softer than your average teddy bear or stuffed animal. The type here is super dated with these puffy cloud backgrounds. But overall, good use of white space. Cuddle up with softness. Not a very creative headline. But the ad works because the image tells me all I need to know about this product. And if I were looking for a fabric softener, I would certainly have this one in mind. This ad we're going to skip altogether. All right, this ad is for new Juicy Fruit Fruity Chews. Again, they have the product down here, which seems to be a common theme for packaged products. And that probably works. The problem I have with this is there's no headline, there's no copy. It's assuming a lot about me as a consumer, that I guess that I should know what this is. And all I understand from this is that this is likely going to pop this thing. What that means, I have no idea. What these little purple people mean, I have no idea. So really, the lack of a headline here, the lack of, brand reinforcements or anything here, to me makes this a failed ad. I mean, the plus is it's good artwork. It's certainly, the bright yellow is certainly captivating and interesting, and it attracts your attention, but once it has your attention, it doesn't do anything with it. Okay, this, despite probably having the highest production value in terms of an ad, I mean, someone did the Photoshop work on this, they had a photo shoot and so forth. Unfortunately, it has no headline. The product that it's selling is tiny here. This, I mean, if you blink twice, you're going to miss the fact that there's a razor there. So, and really the image doesn't tell me anything. It's a woman kicking a sandbag that's turning into water. There's no visual analogy that I make there. I don't think, oh, well, if her skin is smooth enough, she's going to turn this sandbag into water. It just, visually, it doesn't make sense. There's no headline to make it make sense. So even if the image does attract and get my interest, it doesn't deliver any message. So that's the problem with that one. Okay, so this is an ad for the Fire Phone from Amazon. The problem is this ad is assuming that we can tell what's going on with this image being this image, and that there's just a lot being assumed by this. This image is this image, and I guess this is being scanned, and that's telling them that this is the TV show Scandal. I only know this connection because I've seen some TV ads. This ad in and of itself doesn't tell me anything. The copy does, but the biggest thing on here is the name of the phone and exclusively on AT&T. There's no headline that explains this, which it's using it as its selling point. That the phone itself doesn't really contrast well with the background. I mean, if you've seen ads created by Apple for the iPhone, there's normally always a white background. Certainly they could have done something to make the phone stand out from the background. I mean, even the hand itself is not very warm. So it's got too much magenta. The background has a lot of magenta. So you have the whole thing really just turning into this bland image where it could be, there's certainly a clever idea to be had here to show this, and no work was really done to come up with something clever, and there's no real headline. So that's the problem with that one. All right, this one, it doesn't attract me or get my interest. I see 3 targets. They're black on white. My first thought was, oh, this is an ad for Target, but I know Target is red and white, so maybe it isn't, and that isn't the typeface that Target uses. So if I did try to understand this ad, the numbers everybody needs to know. What are my daily targets? Okay, so I understand that these are my daily targets, and now I'm supposed to sit here and do math to figure out whether Nutella meets these or exceeds these. It really, there's way too much information for someone to grasp in just flipping through a magazine. They're probably already not interested in the ads, and certainly this isn't going to be something that's going to grab their attention. Okay, so this is one for deodorant, Dove, and this one it's got the product here, but primarily depends on this headline. For starters, I think it's too long of a headline. You're simply not going to read the whole thing unless you're already interested in, unless it already has your interest. And in order to get your interest, it has to attract your interest or attract you. And this simply really doesn't do it. Certainly not for me. So, dear razors, what you irritate, we alleviate. You're welcome. Okay. I guess that's some attempt to be clever, but it really doesn't come out clever at all. And why is there a period after there? At best, it should be a semicolon, but normally would just be a comma. So grammatically it's incorrect, if nothing else. This is one of the, one of the worst ads, at least of the ones that I'm reviewing. First off, what is the headline? What do you want me to look at first here? Visually, it's confusing. We have 3 different fonts, 1, 2, 3, all before I even reach the copy. Looks that rock with a hashtag. Is this actually a hashtag, or is this just someone being an idiot and thinking, oh, teenagers use hashtags, so we're going to put that there? Make the grade with chart-topping trends. Make what grade? I guess they're making a school connection because this is back to school. But now they've completely switched themes to music with chart-topping trends. You have these 2 girls here sitting there doing nothing, trying to be interesting. And then you have a moisturizer, Crest 3D white strips, shaving kit, and mascara all mixed in here. So having looked at it this long, I still wouldn't be able to tell you what it is. So this is available at CVS. So is this an ad for CVS? Because I don't know if Olay, Crest, CoverGirl, and Venus are all one major brand. Or is this trying to promote the MTV Music Awards? Really, this ad is super confusing. So if this were a CVS ad, great. Promote the fact that it's CVS and they're having a back-to-school sale. If it's an MTV Music Award ad and you can get these things and this is an award, then it should have promoted that. But it decided on not promoting a single thing, instead throwing 4 things on there with confusing headlines. So it's terrible. All right, this is one of the better ads, actually. It's got a clever headline, to bleach or not to bleach, that most people can relate to right away. When you have white clothing or white towels that have some color, the question is always, should I bleach it or shouldn't I bleach it? So it's got a clever headline. The image itself is interesting. It shows the product here. It's got some copy here, so if you're interested all the way through to here, you'll read it. It uses one font. My only complaint here would be you generally don't want to use the font of your logo in text or headlines, because that waters down your logo as a logo. But beyond that, quite good ad. All right, this one is the world's biggest M&Ms. If you've seen bigger, our lawyers would love to speak to you. Okay, so this one immediately tells me what it is promoting, shows me the product, gives me some scale so I can see how big the M&M is, and the headline in chocolate does tell me what it is. So it's an informative ad. It's not particularly eye-catching. The all brown doesn't really do anything visually. Yeah. So it's a mediocre ad. It's an okay concept. I like the fact that they've done this out of chocolate. That's at least makes it a little interesting. This seems just to be clever with no real message delivered. So I think this is wasted real estate. But beyond that, at least I know the size of the new M&M, and if I'm a fan of M&Ms, I certainly might go look for the Mega M&Ms. All right, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, go ahead and subscribe. There'll be more coming.